Now, what in the Royal Caribbean is going on here? There are strong rumors floating about that Royal Caribbean is potentially looking to downsize in the not so distant future. I don't mean by the number of ships within their fleet, I mean that they are potentially looking to create newer, smaller cruise ships, thus continuing their already current monumental success. It appears that they are playing checkers, not chess, when it comes to a business perspective, which is a much more simpler, sometimes funner, and functional game that is guaranteed to make them even more successful. And in this video, I'm going to explain how. In the great words of Floop from Spy Kids, sometimes in order to think big, you have to think small. That means two things in this particular scenario. Now, in this decade, in this era or time in the world, Royal Caribbean has been undoubtedly crowned champion for having the largest and most innovative cruise ships on Earth. There's no doubt about it. We have the Oasis class in recent years, and later on this month, we have Icon of the Seas, capable of holding well over 10,000 passengers and crew at full capacity, has a water park on board, the works, everything that you could imagine for the ultimate getaway and vacation. This spring, we have the launch of Utopia of the Seas, part of the Oasis class, and as we head into 2025, we have the launch of the second Icon class ship, Star of the Seas. Very exciting, and you gotta give credit where it's due to Royal Caribbean. Hats off to them for putting out so many mega ships with great haste. However, as magnificent as I'm sure all of these vessels will be, many would argue that they do have their drawbacks. Like, for example, they are just too damn big. A lot of people want to be able to walk from one end of the ship to the other without it taking 3.5 days, and I understand. However, imagine with me, if you will, what if there were new, modernized cruise ships, potentially with, let's say if you're a gambler, a bigger casino on board, lots of activities, but to the point to where it's downsized so much where you can enjoy and see the entire ship within a week's time. It appears that's what Royal Caribbean is looking at and potentially trying to discover. According to Royal Caribbean blog, shout out to Matt, by the way, really nice guy, the CEO of Royal Caribbean, Michael Bailey, was having a conversation. He said something along the lines and to the tune of entertaining the idea of listening to his guests when they say they want a smaller vessel, as it seems like most cruise lines are trying to play the one-up game of who can create the most innovative product and the largest of cruise ships. As of right now, when it comes to Royal Caribbean, the smallest class that is still operating within their fleet is the Vision class. The oldest ship that they have within their fleet is 27 years old, Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas. However, Michael Bailey openly admitted that these ships are somewhat starting to show their age, and no offense to Carnival, but we have seen what a ship looks like when it's still sailing past its prime. Royal Caribbean has been making massive moves over the past couple years. There's no doubt about it. I have said on multiple occasions that their marketing team is without a doubt the best in the cruise ship industry. They're absolutely killing it. They are bringing in the right influencers to create the image that they want. They're promoting properly. They're even allowing their crew members to film and make vlogs around the ship, even in the crew areas, which I'm a little jealous for. Back when I worked on cruise ships and I started this whole thing, it was a conundrum, a fireable offense for you to film. I'm a little jealous. Might have to get back on cruise ships as a dancer, but we'll see. They've also been able to sell out cruise ships at top dollar every single time, which is absolutely insane. However, as you could imagine with Royal Caribbean, there has been some controversy from lovers of the brand stating that Royal Caribbean has in a way lost touch with its consumers, that they are more focused on profit as opposed to giving people a great experience, more focused on making sure that they bring in families because more families equal more money, and they think that bigger is better, which isn't always necessarily the case. We see that now when you have these large mega cruise ships that are sailing out of places like Fort Lauderdale and Miami. They are limited in the destinations in which they are able to go to. You downsize to smaller ships, you can have potentially longer itineraries, you can make more profit in places like the casino, and obviously there is a potential for it to have a more intimate feel and potentially bring in more lovers of the brand. There is great speculation that Royal Caribbean, sometime this year in 2024, will announce a new, smaller class of cruise ship known as the Discovery class. With their ship, the Discovery of the Seas, it will launch a new adventure for people that want a more so downsized, intimate feel of cruise ship. I believe that if they achieve this, they will have their cake and eat it too. They can have the massive cruise ships with all the fixings and ice skating rinks to bring in more profits and families, whereas they can also have these smaller ships for all the people that maybe want to just have some fun at the casino, have a more quiet, intimate setting, and possibly have longer itineraries. Because if it's called, in my opinion, Discovery of the Seas, it's going to be doing a little bit more discovering. It won't be like, let's say, your Freedom of the Seas out of Miami, in which it is doing like 3-day itineraries. They have ships that are doing world cruises right now, and I do believe that while they may not be doing world cruises with the Discovery class, maybe one or two of the ships within the fleet, they will simply have, let's say, maybe a 14-day sailing or maybe somewhere in that range. Once again, do keep in mind these are just strong rumors that will probably, maybe, possibly happen in the not so distant future. However, I do personally believe this is what the industry needs. I don't mind big ships, I don't mind small ships. I understand the appeal for each, and I do love sailing with each different style of cruise ship. However, I do believe this whole one-up game of who can make the biggest, crazy, innovative cruise ship also kind of needs to end, and some people just need to find their own lane in their own style. However, we'll see what works out with all of this situation or conundrum or whatever it is that you want to call it. Of course, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And know, as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you soon. Take it easy.